Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Richie Unicorn Caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And welcome to my level 160 life PvE build. Now, this is not the stitch. Y'all ain't ready for this set right here. I'm not gonna lie with you. I did this stitch last night. Y'all ain't ready for this one, but y'all are ready for this one, cause this one is insane. All right, this is nuts. So let's go over the disclaimers, because previously we did the level 150 build. It was pretty much pay to win. This one is pay to win. Not only that, but some of the items either don't exist anymore, and some of the items are really hard to get sometimes. So I'm gonna be sharing you guys all the gear, where to basically get that gear and stuff like that, just the whole thing, and I'll list it all in the top pinned comment so you can get the sources of everything. But actually, no, you can't even. Now that I think about it, this build can't even work because the Athame doesn't even exist anymore. So anyway, another disclaimer: this is not a raid build. This is not a PvP build. All right, even though I said it is my PvE build, this is not really optimal for PvE because you might want to not do all the exact stuff that I do. But for me, I really like it. But yeah, this is not a PvP nor raid build, so don't try to replicate. Don't try to put yourself in a raid with this because you might not be the best with it. But yeah, I'm excited to share with you guys my little healing build, because I've been healing for years and I've always tried to figure out like what works the best. And with the latest Novice pack and, you know, the buff to the Eternal gear, you know, regarding the pip chance and stuff like that, it actually helped out a lot, and I think I have just like the most like cracked out build ever. So I'm gonna share with you guys. Let's get down to business. All the way over here to the hats. Here we go. So again, we're talking about level 160 gear, okay? Again, it's gonna be hard. That's the thing about this build. It takes a long time, and it is also very expensive. So over here, we're starting off strong with the internal. The eternal inspired helm. I was just saying eternal. What am I saying? But yeah, this is what it is. It comes with 1,044 health, a 10% pip chance. It comes with 13 resist, which is kind of low. You know, you might want to go with a jade hat if you want more resist. But it comes with 104 critical block, 7% life accuracy, 114 life critical, 26 life damage, 15 shadow pip rating. And then remember that the level 160 gear can utilize some pins. You'll have your sword pins, your power pins, and your shield pins. So for the sword pins, you can put whatever you want, but for the shield pin, the one I would highly recommend are some of the mending or healing pins. These healing pins are insane. Let me say that ever since they released this whole pin system, it really makes adding gear to like a healer a little bit more flexible. So over here, I have the life mending pin at 29%. I heard there's actually a 30%, but I haven't gotten lucky to get a 30%. But yeah, you can get a 29%. You can get a life mending pin at 27%. And yeah, it's just awesome. It is just, and it actually makes the outgoing even more crazy. So think about it, if you had a robe for this, you can, actually, no, I don't think the robe actually has a shield pin, but, again, it is just, it's insane, dude. Now, in order to get this hat, you can either get it from the Novice pack, which is the easier route, but it costs money, or you can kind of grind for it, specifically in Novice. I believe the hat is dropped off at the final boss fight, the Manticore Madness dungeon. If you have the same exact type of like replica of a hat, you could actually craft this, and you know, you can get the crafted version, which is a little bit easier. Now remember that we are getting a buff to the Novice gear drop rates, and we are getting that pretty system sometime in one of those patches, so do keep that with a grain of salt, that it might not be too crazy to get some of the Novice gear, but at the moment, I've heard many stories of people farming for literally weeks, and, you know, they still didn't get much, and I know the feeling, and I'm just happy that I don't have to farm Novice no more. So, yeah, make sure you are checking in with that, and in order to get the mending pins, specifically the shield pins, you want to go to a specific dungeon in Novice. It's called the Dueler's Pass, I believe, and like I said, I'll leave everything in the top pinned comment with all the accurate information, but you would basically do that dungeon and it should drop the mending pin for you, and also the outgoing jewels as well, which we'll go into a little bit further. And like I said, this is not a raid build. This is not a PvP build, okay? Let's go on to the robes now, alright? Enough talking about the hat. Let's talk about the robe. Now, this robe automatically got paid for, alright? We're already getting to the paying stuff already, but this is the Spooky Carnival suit. It is one of my favorite robes in the game, and I absolutely love it. It comes with 1,318 health, 7% pip chance, 7% accuracy, 21 universal resist, 20 outgoing, 116 critical block rating, and 17 shadow pip rating, and it comes with 2 of these spell cards. It's called the Kiss of Death. You basically take 1,000 damage, then give 750 base heal to basically all your teammates. It's actually a pretty fun spell to use, especially if you got no other cards in your deck. This is a nice spell to have, and if you are a Death Wizard, then you can utilize this a lot faster and efficiently. But now that we have the whole school pip system thing, this actually works well if you have at least about 3 death pips, basically. So, yeah, you can kind of mix and match with some of your spell cards and stuff like that, but I like this robe. A lot of people recommend the Malevolent robe, the Majoris robe, but I either don't see that pip chance or I just see a loss of stat that wouldn't make this, you know, my own build even work. You know, you could go for a more outgoing robe, but exactly for me though, personally, I love the Spooky Carnival suit, and this is specifically the level 130 version. I actually had to rebuy this bundle all over again because I had the level 120 version. So hopefully they don't update this bundle again, because I will buy a level 160 version. Don't tempt me, K. I will buy it. But for the robe, automatically something you have to buy. So there you go. For the boots, it's the same thing as the Novice Eternal boots, or whatever you want to run with, but I just got this one out of the pack. So again, the Novice pack and the Novice gear, that's all the same. Nothing is increasing stats. It used to be, but then they kind of buffed it a little bit. So the boots, or the Novice boots, it doesn't matter which one you get, but this one comes with 1,101 maximum health, 7% pip chance, 177 block rating, 15% resist, which is really nice. And I used to use the Dragoon boots a lot, but, you know, since you can't really use enchants and raids, you know, I really like the Great Inventor's Life boots, and also we can utilize that healing pin as well. The boots also come with 5% life accuracy, 90% critical rating, 30 damage, 12 shadow pip rating, and like I said, you can utilize those healing pins and you can put them on your boots. And so that will basically give you 27% or 29 or even 30% outgoing just on your boots alone. So again, you can kind of mix and match it whatever you want, and I just really love the healing pins. Now the wand, let's talk about the wand. This is something else you have to buy. Well, like I said, it's just my own build, but this is also another premium item, and I think it's actually like really expensive. So this is called the Staff of the Subjugator, and back in the day, as like a level 95, this is like one of my OG healing wands. I absolutely loved it, not even for its outgoing, but the critical and the pip chance is insane. Please don't patch it, KI, or don't touch this wand. Alright, I love this wand. I've been using it for years. But basically you get an 8% pip chance, 48 critical block rating, 75 critical rating, 11% incoming, which is really good, plus 15 outgoing, which is low. You could run with the Silver Order of the Spiral, or even the Sword of Kings to get a little bit more outgoing. But this wand, specifically, I love this wand because it also comes with an additional pip chance. So now your total pip chance is up to 9% just for this wand. Not only that, but you're also going to get a little bit of critical block and a little bit of critical with some incoming. This is like, honestly, like a really balanced wand. Like, I really appreciate this wand. And like I said, you can buy this in the crown shop. I mean, I haven't checked this gear out in years. It's right here. It's 6,295 crowns. One of my favorite healing wands. Highly recommend it if you have the money. But yeah, it's pretty fun. And again, you don't have to go with that one. You can just run with the Sword of Kings or just any outgoing wand in general. But for me, this build works best because of this wand alone. So now let's go into the Athame, which the Athame does not exist anymore. This Athame does not exist anymore. All right, I get a lot of questions, be like, "Yo, I don't see this dagger anymore." I mean, it's still there. However, they updated the drop pool, so now this specific Athame would not drop anymore, basically. So hopefully you have a spare in your bank somewhere, but if you don't, this is kind of considered a legacy gear. And again, it's one of the reasons why this type of setup can't really be replicated as much. I mean, I'm sure it can be replicated, but again, if you're a new player or if you just don't have this Athame in general, then it kind of makes the build a little wonky. There is an alternative, which I'll talk about, but right now, let's read the stats. So, a little bit of health, 370 health. This is level 99 gear from back in the day, so you're not really going to get like a huge health boost. 210 mana, 16% pip chance, 17 block, 17 life damage, and 20% outgoing, which is kind of balanced. And then for the jewels, you can put whatever you want for the tier socket. If you want like more health, you can go for health. I just put a mana opal in there because why not? I already have enough health. And for the opals, oh man, 8% mending opals, man. Now that is insane. Now again, you can get this from that one dungeon I just talked about in Novus, in the Dueler's Pass, and they kind of drop like candy after a couple of runs. You know, it doesn't take too long to get. And I highly recommend these 8% mending opals because they come in handy. And then for the triangle socket, you could put in a pip chance or whatever you want, but I have a spell card, so again, I'm playing a little differently here. I put a Rebirth Jade, which took me so long to get. You can either craft it, or you can buy it from the Life Jewel Pack. Rest in peace, crowns. But this one has actually saved my life a couple of times. And the reason I like this Rebirth Jade is because it only costs 7 pips, and it does the base healing of 730 healing, which I believe is a little bit lower than the other Rebirth, but the other Rebirth costs 8 pips, and this one also gives you a 450 absorb shield. So again, like I said, the reason I like this Rebirth Jade is because it comes with that 7% Rebirth, or yeah, that 7 pip Rebirth, basically. It can come in clutch, especially if you have a white pip, or you know, if you just don't have enough pips. This could come in clutch, so especially if you have a lot of outgoing. So personally for me, I really love the Rebirth Jade, and it also kind of adds some spells in our decks, so I really like that. So for the amulet, you can kind of be flexible with the amulet, but for me, I have the Eternal Inspired Charm. I wish that some of these charms had a few different spell cards included with them. And again, I have a bunch of other stuff like the Grizzly Cerberus Master Amphil, which comes with a little bit more resist, but it comes with some things I don't like. But honestly, you can run with whatever you want for the amulet. I don't care. But for me, I got this. It comes with 840 max health, 62% rating, critical block rating, 8% resist, 135 fire pip conversion, 203 life pip conversion. And then for the jewel sockets, you can, well, I just put in the stun resist because why not? I actually resisted a stun like once yesterday, which was pretty cool. And like I said, for the jewels, you can either put like an incoming jewel if you want, or, you know, just put whatever you want for the square socket. They actually have this 7% healing opal, which I have gotten from the Storm Jewel Pack. Rest in peace, Crowns. And you can put that in to increase your incoming. But it really depends on what you want to run with. But for me, I just have that. And I'm sure there's other better options. But for now, I'm not going to shatter those. Those are hard to get, dude. I opened up way too many jewel packs, man. I probably spent like 10,000 crowns on jewel packs alone just trying to get some stuff. But yeah, there's the the amulet, and you can get this amulet from the Novice, or if you open up the Novice pack. And I wanted to go back over to the Athems real quick because I forgot to show you guys a good alternative to the Athame. However, the way to get it is very difficult, and I highly wouldn't recommend it unless you find a really good guild. But you probably know what it is. It's the Raid Athame. I mean, that's the only one I can think of that's similar to the Dark Woman's Dagger. I'm sure there's probably something else similar, but where is it? All the way over here. So, if you ever do decide to go raiding, this is one of the alternatives. Now, what I really don't like about the Raid Athame is that it comes with a decrease of outgoing healing. If it had the same outgoing healing as the Dark Woman's Dagger, then yeah, I would definitely try to farm for this, because not only are you going to get a huge health boost, but you're also going to get that outgoing. But sadly, the outgoing is only at 14%, and honestly, I'm not really sure if it's really worth the loss of the outgoing stat. And you also gotta remember that the raids are very hard, alright? And you know, you gotta really find a dedicated guild for it. We've already made many discussions about it, and you know, the chances of this dropping might be slim. I mean, I've done a couple of raid runs, I think about like 9 or something like that, and you know, this has never dropped for me at all. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna get this Athame for a while, but if I do see something, or if I do want to change it up a little bit, maybe I'll consider it. But for the most part, I don't know. I have to take a pin in it because I really like the Morganath Athame, the Dark Woman's Dagger. I've been using it for years, and sadly, it just doesn't drop anymore, sadly. So, I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, just go with any outgoing Athame that will give you some outgoing, basically, I guess. That's the only thing I can recommend. Now, for the ring, there is one superior ring every single healer needs. It doesn't matter. It's not the shooting, the dying shooting star ring. It's none of that. It's this ring right here. This, out of any other ring in the game, this ring gives the most outgoing. Level 78, I believe it drops an Avalon. And this ring is something every healer needs, because this is awesome. So over here, where is it? Over here. Let's talk about the stats. So, again, this is from level 78, so you're not going to get a huge health boost. 242 max health, 176 mana, 12% pip chance, and 15% critical block, 33 outgoing. Now, that's just the base stat. Now, you might find other rings that have maybe a high outgoing on them, but remember that some of those rings do not utilize a circle socket. So, after that, you could then, with this ring, put a tier socket, you can put a circle socket, and you can put a square socket of whatever you're choosing, but I put a plus 8% outgoing healing opal. So then you do 8 plus 33, and my math is terrible, but I believe that would be like 42, I think? Wait, let me count this. Wait, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Yeah, that would be like 41. Yeah, 41 outgoing. I'm guessing. You know, if my rough math counts that, yeah. So I highly recommend this ring because it has that circle socket. Now there are those good alternatives, but just remember that those alternatives will not have that circle socket, or it won't have the most outgoing. So highly recommend this ring for any healers out there. Now we talk about the pet. Look, you can do whatever you want for the pet, but this is just my own personal build. I actually did this pet as a throwback. Like, this is a throwback pet. I haven't used this pet in years, but I looked at the stats and I'm like, huh, this is actually kind of cool. So, going all the way back, we have the, actually, wait, I'll save the jewel for later, but let's look at these stats real quick. Actually, let me go on the pet page. It might be easier to read it on the pet page. So, here we go. We got Spell Proof, Spell Defy. Highly recommend getting Spell Proof and Spell Defy for any healer. We also have a Maycast Cycle of Life. This will basically give you an aura, and it will give you a plus 25% outgoing healing, plus a 5% pip chance, plus 10% incoming death damage for 4 rounds. And then we also have the Maycast Unicorn, which usually casts a lot. Highly recommend this one. It is a 3-pip unicorn with 465 base healing to it. And then I also recommend the Medic or Healer talent as well. Specifically the Medic talent, because then we go down to the Jewel. And the jewel is the Pigsy Lifesaver Jewel, which, this is a very, okay, again, like I said in the beginning, this is a very, very expensive build, okay? This jewel is very hard to come by. I believe you have to buy this jewel on a certain month. Again, I'll leave everything in the top pinned comment below, but this jewel is really, really hard, especially if you do have to buy it on a certain month. I actually got this jewel in one of the Spring Scroll of Fortunes years ago, right? Back in the day when they gave out some really good Maycast opals. This was one of them. And I got it, and it was like the best investment ever. Not only are you gonna get that Pigsy jewel, not the Pigsy jewel, but the Maycast Pigsy, but you're also going to get the substat of 4% healer. So if your pet already doesn't have the healer talent, you can definitely put this on, and yeah, it's like one of my favorite jewels. I love it. Highly recommend it. And guess what? It's not shadowable. So you don't even have to keep it on a pet. You can just do that. See, look, you can just keep on socketing it. It's a no shatter jewel. So you can be very flexible with this jewel. But I highly recommend that, and highly recommend actually, I don't recommend Cycle of Life because it's kind of like a rare cast kind of thing. Like, it's really hard to cast this, but if you have this aura around you, then you're going to be doing some crazy heals. So over there, not the stats. We're not ready for the stats yet. We got to talk about the mount. Which, again, the mount is... You can actually farm for this mount, surprisingly, though. You can actually farm for this mount. It's in the Jeweled Slopes area dungeon. I believe in Polaris. Again, I'll leave everything in the top pinned comment. But, yeah, this mount is pretty cool. Or you can take the easy route, the expensive route, and just buy it. I have to scroll all the way down just to find it. Where is it? There it is. It's 9,000 crowns. It comes with 2% healing substat. So that's really nice to have, especially if you're a healer. That 2% really does make a difference. Or if you don't care, you don't even have to run that. If you want more pip chance, you can go with the rock mount, which I believe it drops from the one Sinbad gauntlet. You have to get really lucky with it. Or you can open up the Sinbad packs. But a 3% pip chance substat also would work, and especially if you're trying to go for like a max pip chance. But yeah, those would have to be two of my favorite mounts. Mainly the Mammoth Mini. It was gifted to me by a viewer. Thank you, Blaze IronGem. I believe that was the gifter that gifted me this. But yeah, this is a really nice mount to have. For the decks, you can pretty much do whatever you want for the decks, but for me, I have a raid deck. Now, this raid deck is all, there's a lot to read from this, so let's take our time with it. So, plus 212 healing, and a plus 61 critical block, a plus 123 pip conversion, plus that one starter pip that you get at the beginning of the battle, plus 64 Arc Mastery rating, which honestly, I'm not really liking the Arc Mastery rating because it is influenced by everybody else's Arc Mastery, so you might not want to run this specific type of deck. I don't know, it's just the way they have it is kind of weird. But for the triangle socket, I have something very interesting. I have a 30% balance blade, and another spell card that comes with this deck, specifically the Void's Lively Cards deck, is this Leprechaun. 140 to 160 base damage. However, you can clear a trap off of yourself for about 320 heal overtime for 5 rounds. So I usually don't really use this spell at all, but, you know, maybe once in a while if I'm super bored, maybe you might want to cast it. And if you do cast it, you might have a chance of even activating the Cycle of Life Maycast if you do get super lucky. But yeah, I really like this deck. The only problem with this deck, it comes from the raids. And like we said about the raids are very hard. And another hard thing is that this is the upgraded version. So now you need to farm Novice and get the reagents to then upgrade this deck. So again, it is a lot of work, man, but I promise you, the stats are gonna be pretty dope. Actually, you might not even like the stats, and I'm okay with that, because personally for me, this is my own build, and I personally love it. But that is pretty much all of the gear that I am rocking with, and I absolutely love it. And now we get to see the overall stats. I hope you guys are ready. Drum roll, please. This is gonna be dope. I gotta swallow for this one. This is gonna be a big mouthful. Alright. Here we go with the stats. Alright. 73 damage, which honestly is kind of a little bit high. I mean, honestly, it's kind of a little bit high considering that this is a healing build. But I don't really care much about damage. I care about resist. The resist is at 72%. Now, this might be a little bit too low, especially if you wanted to run higher resist. I would highly recommend a pet with the Mighty Opal, or, you know, a Mighty Talent, or you want a Ward pet, or you can just run Jade gear and stuff like that. But personally for me, I think 72% is enough for me. I kind of want to keep the resist down a little bit though, because I have a feeling that if KI does have a resist cap maybe in the future to like 70%, then, you know, it would kind of be detrimental, because then if you're running like 80% resist, then you might be seeing some bad results or whatever that is. It's kind of the same thing with the damage cap thing. Like, I just have a fear that they're going to put a cap limit on all the stats. But then for the accuracy, I have 19 accuracy. So notice how in this entire deck, or it in the deck we don't have that accuracy jewel, which you could put an accuracy jewel in, but with all the stuff that we have, we don't really need any accuracy jewels in general, because we will never fizzle. Most of the life spells are gonna be at 85% or 90%, so you really don't need a whole bunch of accuracy. As long as you can cast without fizzling, you know, without a debuff, you know, as long as you have perfect accuracy, you should be good. So personally for me, I think it works out a lot. Over here, critical is at 279. I'm not sure if this is good or not, but I don't think you need a whole bunch of critical ever since they changed the whole critical system. But for the block rating, 600 blocks for for everything. Shadow, balance, death, life, myth, storm, ice, fire. All 600% block rating, so I definitely love that. Armor piercing is just 3 for death. That doesn't really matter. We're not really worried about piercing. Stun resistance is at 15%. Again, we're not really worried about that either, but sometimes if you're super lucky, you might be able to resist a stun. You actually can increase your incoming healing if you put those square sockets in, but for the outgoing healing, which could be higher, right now currently is at 182%, which is kind of crazy. And this is my favorite page over here. The pip conversion is set to 689, which I haven't really noticed much of a difference with this, honestly. But our power pips is at a solid 100% on the dot. On the dot, specifically on the dot. The Shadow Pip rating is at 124, and the Arc Mastery rating is at 192, which I really don't care about the Shadow Pip and the Arc Mastery rating, honestly. But that is pretty much my build. And this build is insane. Now imagine if we had that Cycle of Life aura up. So if you casted that Cycle of Life aura, your outgoing would be boosted up by 25%, meaning that you can actually go beyond and get 200% outgoing, bro, which is absolutely insane. Now, of course, you can actually get 200% outgoing already, especially if you have the right healing stats, but for me, in general, this is just awesome. I absolutely love this build. It took me years to finally have the perfect build, and I think this is fine for me. And again, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is not a PvP set. This is not a raid set. This isn't really even a PvE set. Alright? This is just my own set, and I love it. I think it's pretty awesome. And yeah, hopefully that helped you guys out. If any other healers wanted to also heal their teammates, especially for beginners, the one thing I would recommend is just trying to get some mending opals. I think that would have to be like my key takeaway from this. And if you are going to be a Jade healer, highly recommend getting at least perfect pip chance if possible. It might not be possible with certain gears, but if you can maintain a really high power pip flow, then I think you're going to be good. And of course, as long as you have a high resist, then you should be good. I also forgot to mention that the total health is 10,407, and our maximum mana is 664 because we have those little mana slots open. And again, you could make any of these higher if you get the right pieces of gear, but for me, this gear works. And at the end of the day, I look amazing. I love it. So that ends my level 160 build. Very expensive, with some items not even existing anymore, which is the Athame. But overall, it's a fun little build, and I'm going to keep doing some team-ups in like Darkmoor and stuff like that, just because I love healing a bunch of the low levels and helping them out and stuff like that. I know how hard Darkmoor can be. I know the feeling. Back in the day. It was like a nightmare for me, Darkmoor, but I love helping out everybody else, and I just love healing. So yeah, that's my build, and I hope to see you guys again later. Let me know what you guys think of the video, and yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace out, and thanks for watching.